quarantine hearts are the back with you.
This is your new thing, huh? You like to say introduce yourself behind the record?
Kind of shining the light in everybody's eyes with that.
Oh yeah,
Put
let's
it down.
not do that. Oh, let's
Thanks.
take the record out of the sleeves. This is the Velvet Underground, White Light, White Heat.
Yep.
Part 2 of
Right.
Quarantine Hearts. Listen to Velvet Underground.
White heat.
This is released in early 1968 and recorded in late 67. After their, we have 2 copies here. Yes, we do.
Why?
Well, this is the original stereo copy. And this is a copy from the mono box set released by Sundays, which we'll talk about. But yeah, this is the show we have here. This is the West Coast pressing once again. Mm-hmm. White Light, White Heat stereo. As I said, it was released in an original mono copy. It's very rare, much more rare, but it is actually not full mono. It's stereo, or it's mono on the first side, stereo on the second.
Maybe you thought that the first album was crude, right?
The first album was a little bit crude or rough, rough around the edges. This takes it to a whole nother level.
Yes, it does.
Yes. It's even more so. A lot more experimental, I'd say. Mm-hmm. Weirder, maybe.
Yep.
Well, not maybe, for sure. But also, a couple of key things. We no longer have the involvement of Andy Warhol. They parted ways prior to this album coming out.
Was that amicable?
I don't really know.
Does one part ways with Andy Warhol amicably?
My sense is they just probably...
or did he grow tired of him?
I'm going to guess Warhol just was like, I'm going to do something else.
I'll be over here.
Yeah. It's also, there's no Nico on this album, right?
No Nico.
And that was not an amicable split.
My guess is not. I think there was some talk that she was going to record with them, and then Lou Reed was just, they just started doing it on their own. So this is a pure VU album. This is the purest of the pure.
Because it didn't have any other players that weren't the core crew.
Not only that, but we have songs that are all written, or a couple songs just written by Lou Reed, but then we have a bunch of band songs. The Gift, There She Comes Now, and of course, Sister Ray. So let's talk about these songs, bud. Don't watch The Shrink.
All right. Let me see.
Oh boy.
This is the vinyl.
Yeah, this is the reissue from the mono edition box set.
Your daddy feels about The Shrink.
White Light, White Heat, the first song has a blues percussion piano thing to it, right?
Yes, it does. It's got that
Fat fingers.
Right?
It's just like White Light.
Yeah, that's all.
White Heat.
That's basically all John Cale. Or no,
John
it says
Cale?
Lou Reed plays on it. Some piano too.
No, Lou Reed sings.
Yes, he plays guitar, vocal, and piano. It says here. We have produced by Tom Wilson once again.
I just thought of someone called John Reed.
John Reed? Did you make
Sure,
that up?
John Reed out there.
There's probably many John Reeds.
Yes.
This is on Verve once again, and it is produced by Tom Wilson, who was producing the first album with the Velvet Underground. And so these songs, man, are something else, right? The Gift
is a John Cale written song.
Actually, it says here, words by Lou Reed. It's a poem that Lou Reed wrote when he was in college, is what I read. And he gave it to John Cale to read while the band they separated it, especially in the stereo edition. You have...
But lately Waldo had begun to worry. He had trouble sleeping at night. That you found out now.
Now, if she ever comes now, if she ever comes.
Long getting gone, still it ain't the same.
All of the music on one side and John Cale just reading a story about Waldo Jeffers, right?
I think that's what his name is.
Waldo Jeffers.
You can hear that the music's on one side, on the other side is them talking.
True.
Did you say he wrote that in college or high school?
I read that he wrote it in college.
It feels like a short story one would write in college.
The music has a really good beat to it.
Yep.
I love that song.
Oh, it's great. And yeah, it's sort of a strange story about a guy who mails himself to his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And
one thing about The Gift is there's an instrumental version that just has music, right?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you have. That's part of I think the 45th anniversary edition of this.
But they just separate it, though? It wasn't intended to be released like that? They just isolated it?
Yeah, it's
so they
just the music.
Took away the talking and put music. Oh. And they made the music louder, right?
I don't think it's even like a different take of it. It's like the same. I think it's the same music.
They probably just pulled it apart.
Oh, we got to talk about Lady Godiva's Operation, right?
Yeah.
Because we were listening to that, and me and Silas and Ginger were listening to that, and we were laughing about how.
Wait. The gift is 8 minutes because there's a lot of story stuff to it.
Long story.
Long story. It's hard to kind of stick with it the whole time. I've often there's times where I've been like, I need to listen to the gift all the way through, and I often will drift off.
I end up drifting off too. Yeah, something about that. I mean, I know what the whole story is.
It's kind of hypnotic.
Yeah, you sort of just start droning away. Lady Godiva's Operation is cool because it's sung by John Cale, but then Lou Reed at some point interrupts with "Sweetly, sweetly, sweetly, Pompeii." Yeah,
and then he's like
screaming. Yeah.
Is he saying it with his nose covered?
Yeah.
Like
It
that?
sounds a little like that, but it's also it's like it's like not well edited, but sort of like endearing in that way. So they kind of trade, and then of course you have "Here She Comes Now," which we were saying. Weren't we saying like Nirvana covered this? Song?
I think the Vaselines covered it, but I know Nirvana covered it, but I also think the Vaselines covered it first.
What did Nirvana cover it on?
They did. They did it on. I think it was on the Unplugged.
Live one?
Yeah, I think it was on MTV Unplugged.
No, might have been on that live. One of the live releases.
It's definitely a live
Here
recording.
She Comes Now is the only uncrude song on this album.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's sort of it's the most gentle song on the album, and then you start side 2 with a ripper. I Heard Her Call My Name.
Yeah, well,
Which
wait. Here She Comes Now is only 2 minutes, so it's like really short. You get through 1 minute, and you're like, oh, there's only 1 minute left.
Well, it's a short song. It sort of could fit on it could almost be on the first album. I could almost see Nico singing that song.
Yes.
Oh, ship comes now, right?
Yes.
I Heard Her Call My Name is like my favorite track, probably my favorite track on this, because I love how it just starts with just these guitar soloing like from the get go.
Yeah. At the beginning, it's just like it's surprising because it's just like
And what I read was that Sterling Morrison, who's technically more of the lead player, was like annoyed because Lou Reed wanted to do the dueling solos, which he did. These are Lou Reed playing all the solos on that, and Sterling Morrison apparently was not too thrilled.
Yeah, this one's only 4 minutes compared to the next song, Sister Ray.
Yeah,
It's a long one.
Sister Ray is a gruel, but I mean that in the best way.
What does that mean, gruel?
It's hard to get through
Like
sometimes.
it's a long track. It's a slog kind of, but it's great. I mean it's like a great gruel. It's great.
17.
Excellent grill.
17 minutes exactly on this.
On the nose?
Yes.
Yeah, this
How
is
about that?
the band just exploring and improvising probably, and like Tom Wilson.
I would imagine there's a lot of improvising.
Yeah,
that's all
Producer
orchestrated.
Just left apparently, or just
walked
sort of
out.
like you guys go.
Good luck with all that.
Yeah, have fun. And they did. Like, all of the organ stuff that John Cale is doing is fantastic. It's all fuzzed out and distorted. And Lou Reed singing about his...
Ding dong.
Yep.
Yes. And Mo Tucker's doing her thunka-thunkas, right? It's so good.
Her? Oh, Mo Tucker.
Yeah, Mo Tucker and
Yeah,
Maureen.
Tucker.
The woman.
I wish it was longer. It's that good.
27 minutes, you thought?
I'm going to say it's plenty long.
This is a...
Instead of 17, you thought it would have been 27?
Yeah, it'd be too much on one side, though. You don't need to do that. So this was another failure. The first album was a failure. This was even more of a failure.
Why was it a failure?
People didn't buy it.
Buy what they were selling.
Oh,
People
yeah.
didn't buy it. But now, it's known as one of the greatest albums of all time. I mean, these first two albums
That's gonna rub Grandpa Toby really the wrong way.
Yeah. Grandpa Toby, right?
Yeah.
Your grandpa.
He doesn't like the Velvet Underground.
No, he cannot stand it. He thinks it's
Hot trash.
Yes.
I think it's some of the greatest music ever recorded. I don't think there's anything like it. I don't think there will ever be anything else like it. I think if you asked me to
In that
keep like
time.
10 records, I'd keep
Wow.
Yeah.
That'd be one of your 10?
I don't. Well,
I don't know about that.
I don't know how I could not. I mean, 10 is a little bit. I could keep more than 10. But
Just 10.
if I kept one, no. These are seminal
I
albums.
wonder what your number one album is.
Yeah, what record
I
would
don't
you
know.
keep?
Who could pick such a thing? But
Wonder what Mom's
this
is.
is 10 bananas, 12 bananas. Dad, your grandpa doesn't like is that it's sort of noisy and harsh and not. It's not a well-recorded album, just like the
No,
first album. They're
no.
kind of lo-fi albums, but that's sort of what the charm is, you know. What do you think?
It's
What do you like about it? It seemed like you
well,
liked it.
it's really it's very very well. I can't think of a word for it.
It's
Okay.
authentic, I think. I mean, maybe authenticity is not a thing you
But-
think about with the Velvet Underground because it's like the Andy Warhol
Hold on.
Association and it's very arty.
Yeah, he's
There's
kind
a
of...
skull right there.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
A tattoo.
Yeah. Maybe we
It's a-
inserted the Google image at the beginning, and you could see the skull on that image.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it's there.
Yeah, you can see it. Ish.
So yeah, there's an authenticity about it in terms of it just, I don't know, maybe that's the wrong word for it. It's direct, it's raw, it's sort of, I feel like it's unfiltered.
I think
Yes.
unfiltered is a better word than
Yeah.
authentic, but
Yep.
sure.
What do you think? So do you like this album? Do you like this album better than the first one, or do you like this one, the first one better?
Well, I don't know. So,
They're both amazing.
Maybe we could figure it out once you've heard all of them. There's not that many.
thanks for watching the Velvet Underground
Yeah,
White Light, White Heat. Yeah.
We got another album coming up, self-titled third album with Doug Yule.
Doug Yule.
Yes,
What?
Doug Yule. But we have the singles box set.
We do.
Yeah, so this actually covers the first three albums, singles these are reproductions of the 45s that were released
Yes.
for the first three.
The single 7 VU radio spot is one thing that we were talking about is a commercial. Let's read hold on. Where is the VU radio? Here it is. Let's see. How do you feel? You don't really know how you feel. Why? Because you haven't heard the new Velvet Underground. Here are expressions of a new dimension in honesty, purity, and feeling. The Velvet Underground.
The Velvet
Not
Underground.
a probe, not an exploration, not an experiment, but a whole complete reality.
The Velvet Underground.
The Velvet Underground. This is you. You'll find your love, your hope, your reality. The Velvet Underground on MGM Records will tell you how you feel. Listen.
Very cool. That's the radio spot that they found and put on a 45, and that has reproductions of all the DJ, the promo copies from the first three albums.
Yes.
These are mono mixes, you know, because they're radio copies. Radio station promos were always in mono.
This Velvet Underground. It's not like these. It's actually like in something.
Picture sleeve. You call it a picture sleeve.
Yeah, picture sleeve. And the singles here.
These were
Blue
failures.
label.
They didn't get radio play.
Yes,
Maybe they got
yeah.
a tiny bit, but like these were basically just for
I
DJs
like
to play.
these pictures.
Those are for DJs to
I
steal.
like these pictures.
Well, whether they did or not, I hope they did because they're quite valuable now.
I like these pictures.
Yeah, I like those
They're
too.
both from the first album, All Tomorrow's Party and I'll Be Your Mirror.
Yeah, that's got the Andy Warhol touch on them.
Yep. So that's some singles from the first three albums. The third album was on MGM, and the first two were on Verve, although they're sort of they're basically parent label. I think
This
MGM is the parent label of Verve.
Yeah.
All Tomorrow's Parties. The song is it's 6 minutes long, but this version's only 2:46.
Oh, that's a radio edit.
Little edit action. All right.
Yes.
Anything
Those
else
are
you
the
wanna
singles. White Light, White Heat. There's two versions of it. I think one of them is different.
Yeah, they have two different B-sides.
Yes. One thing I want to talk about is the bonus edition has lots of other stuff on it.
Yeah, I don't have that. The 45th
No,
anniversary edition has all
I
sorts
think
of.
it has like a 10-minute version of The Gift. It has an instrumental version, as I said. It has 19-minute version of Sister Ray. It has Booker T. What is Booker T?
I don't know what any of that stuff is.
Maybe
We'll have to find out.
Booker T,
Insert
of Booker T and the MGs.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is. Yeah, maybe.
How could it be a different Booker T?
Insert Booker T in here.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Yeah.